The problem with going to jail today, going to jail is like going on a vacation. They're not punishing the criminals. They should put them back on the roads and make them fix roads and give them bread and water like they did in the good old days when boys were boys and men were men. And when they get out, believe me, they are less likely to commit a crime again. The judicial system is not set up.
Jesse, I have to interrupt you.
The judicial system is not set up to mama someone. They're not set up to treat you like you're a good person. It's set up to punish you for committing crimes so that you are less likely to do it again. But it's all soft now, like going home to mama.
Okay, so you're making a lot of claims. So your first claim that you have made, just in that statement there, was that if someone is punished, they're less likely to commit a crime.
Yes.
So is that true?
Yes.
How can you prove that?
Because in the good old days when they punished folks for committing crimes, most of the time they didn't return because they did not commit the crime again. Now they do. They're more likely to return now because the judicial system is so weak, because they've listened to the liberals and the children of the lie, to now they're softening the punishment. So the people just coming out, committing the crime, and they go right back because they know it's no big deal. And it's so bad that the Father Messiah, Barack Obama, let them out. Even before they they finish their time in jail.
Do you know what it means when people say word salad?
Words what?
Word salad.
I'm sorry?
A word salad. Right. So you're speaking in word salads. So
what is that?
You're throwing a lot of claims at once that you're not proving. And then when you throw all those claims at once, it takes somebody trying to discuss with you. It takes them hours and hours to undo all those claims that you threw in there.
Well, isn't it true that people going?
I'm a guest on your show, Jesse. Let me talk.
Isn't it true that people going in and out of jail like it's nothing nowadays?
No, that's absolutely not true.
No.
Khalif Browder, who ended up committing suicide from all of his torture that he spent in 3 years in Rikers Island, being held in solitary confinement and being abused by prison guards on a daily basis and getting in fights in that jail and not being kept safe. He ended up committing suicide and never even committed a crime, because that's what our criminal justice system looks like. You are supposed to be asking a criminal justice expert and somebody that's in the system what it's like. The audacity of you to tell me what it is beyond reprehensible.
Were you traumatized as a police officer? Because what you're saying doesn't make any sense at all. You brought up one case of whom no one else knows about, and you're using it as an example.
Can you type in your computer Khalif Browder and see how many incidences there are?
I don't care about whomever that is.
Yeah, the problem is that you don't care about Khalif Browder.
It's not proving my point.
The problem is you don't care about Khalif Browder.
Bringing up one incident is not proving the overall problem.
No. See, here's how things work. Like, see, this is gravity, right? So this is gravity over and over. And I keep doing it. And we hold that as a truth only until as a truth that maybe we don't drop it and it stops. If at one point in time, someone drops a pen and it doesn't hit the ground, the theory of gravity is out the water. So when you come up with any claim that says this happens, and I throw one thing that throws that theory out, your theory's out the water. That's how it works. If you tell me that every person that wears blue shoes, and I go outside and we see somebody wearing red shoes, well, then you're just wrong.
It's ridiculous to bring up one example to try to prove an overall point.
I'm not proving. I'm disproving your claim.
In a given situation, you're going to always have something that goes wrong. But that doesn't make the whole situation bad or wrong. Let me ask you this.
You can't make a claim, Jesse.
You mentioned Jim Crow early in the introduction here. What did you say about Jim Crow?
I'm not going to talk about Jim Crow because...
But you mentioned it in association with the police department.
Right. I'm not going to talk about anything until we talk about your actual claims. I'm not going to allow you to continue to throw claims and word salads at me and change the subjects. You claim...
You can't run the show. You're here to answer questions.
Okay, so you claim that crime was...
You do realize that, right?
You claim that crime was caused by a certain amount of things, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you want police, we were talking about here that you want your producer, you don't want your producer to come in and get shot. Is that true or false?
Right.
Okay, so you don't want him to get shot.
But if he does, make that person suffer for it in jail or in prison. I don't want him to have a vacation.
Right. That's fine. So what if somebody comes in tomorrow and shoots him again, or shoots your new producer? What did you do by putting that first guy in jail that would prevent the next guy from coming in and shooting your next producer?
That's a ridiculous question because that's not going to happen, first of all, and that's not what we're talking about.
It's exactly what we're talking about.
The point we're making is you commit the crime, you need to do the time. It's just simple as that.
No, the point that you said was that you want the police to keep you safe. That's the point, which we haven't gotten past yet.
Right.
Okay, so I'm trying.
That's the purpose of the police.
Okay, so I'm a policing expert. You're a talk show host. So if you would like to talk about what policing is and how police can keep you safe and what the evidence for that is, then we can discuss those things. But let's not move on. Let's discuss those things.
But you are, first of all, it sounds like you tried to direct the way I do the show here.
No, I'm trying
You
to
keep
talk.
telling me that.
I'm trying to talk about your claim, which was to how we should police. And that you want to. So if you would let me finish.
What point you're trying to make?
I will finish my points when you let me speak.
Go ahead.
Okay. So in order to keep you safe, I'm telling you that what we have to do to keep you and your producer safe is to figure out why crimes happen, the motivations behind them, to prevent them from occurring again. Otherwise, I haven't done anything. If all I do is lock up people and punish them and then put them into a prison cell, I have done nothing to keep you safe. Hold on. What I've actually done is put you into a prison system that we empirically, in the science, if you make a claim that punishment reduces crime, then you need to back that up. What I'm telling you is that the evidence, all the scientific literature, everything we know about policing is that punishment and deterrence and laws do not prevent crimes from occurring again in the future. So if we continue to think about punishing people and not training and not actually solving the problems, then we will never be able to keep you safe. So the idea that punishment equals safety is the false paradigm. And now when you
But
also hold on,
that's not honest. That's not true. What you're saying.
You need to prove that.
That's not true.
You need to prove that.
Prior to liberals taking over and softening the punishment and then tying the hands.
I heard you say that, and that's not true.
Tying the hands of the police department.
No, it's false.
Crime.
False. You don't know what the hands of the police department are, Jesse. You don't know what tying those hands mean.
When they committed crime, they went to jail and they were punished. They less likely to.
Jesse,
it's not the police department responsibility to figure out why people commit crime. You can't curse on the radio either.
This isn't the radio.
Back in a moment, folks. You tweeted about police brutality a few years ago. Did you snitch on the police when you were a police officer?
No, but Jesse, we just had a conversation off the air that you were going to let me finish this claim about crime numbers, and you immediately started the show by changing the subject on me again.
Finish that, and then answer that question. We'll take some calls.
So when you say that crime was, like, the criminal justice system was stronger in the past and did something better in the past, has crime gone down or up since that time?
Crime has gone up since that time.
Crime has gone down. It's trended down. Can we like pull up crime stats in America, like, so your audience can see them right now?
Finish your point.
We have had epic crime reductions. The city of New York is down to around 100 homicides per year at 8 million people. It used to be over 1,000. Okay, crime in America is at an epic low. It has never been lower, and the world is in a more peaceful period than it has ever been in its entire history. We live in the most peaceful and the less crime environment in world history. So you're making a claim that it was better before, and those methods, whatever you're arguing for, were empirically not working.
Are you living in the USA?
Yeah, obviously.
You really believe that crime is going down? And
this isn't a matter of beliefs. We can find out the truth about this. We know what crime rates are. So are you calling all the police agencies liars for the numbers they report?
Crime might be going down somewhat over the last couple of years.
No.
But when people were being punished for committing crimes, crime was at an all-time low. When they started to soften up on punishing criminals, crime went through the roof. And it's still going up. especially at the end of Obama's The Fall of Messiah administration. But let me ask, you tweeted about
no, we're not
brutality
moving past.
ago.
I'm not moving past an issue when you're sitting here saying that crime has gone up in the United States. It has gone down dramatically. It is trended down throughout its entire history. Crime is going down and has trended down since the day people stepped foot on this planet, putting on America, putting colonization here. Crime has continually gone down. You must accept that.
Let's do this. You can have that. Let's move to the next point.
Okay, thank you.
You mentioned Jim Crow and policing together in the opening of this discussion. What did you mean by that?
I said the new Jim Crow.
What do you mean by that?
So what happened, the reason why I think we have a lot of lingering issues that we don't kind of understand in our culture is that during the 60s, we understood how these things needed to be changed. We put in stuff like the Civil Rights Act, and our culture kind of coalesced around this idea that you can't have this sign that says white and colored get different fountains, right?
Right.
But what we failed to do is during that time, we didn't codify our systems. So we didn't institutionalize that belief. And we left our police departments and our institutions of government to continue to operate under the premises of slavery and colonization. So what happened in policing, American policing is unique from policing anywhere else in the entire world because America formed in a unique way that's different. And what policing does is calls out those three things. And that is the creation and maintenance of oppressed classes, and then extracting resources from those oppressed classes in order to fund the oppression of those classes. So the way this starts is policing in Boston started with slave catching. You know that, right?
This is so insane. You said that, who are the oppressed classes?
Right. So your oppressed classes right now would be lower income, there will be black, there will be brown, there will be woman, there will be Muslim. So you have
Would
different...
they be white as well?
Well, it depends on what system you're operating in. So
are there oppressed whites?
Yeah, you just answered the question. Are there poor white people?
No, oppressed white people.
Poor is an oppression.
No.
So are there poor white people?
You left out white, so I'm asking,
No.
Are they part of this oppressed people?
Are white people poor? Are there poor white people?
Why did you leave them out? I asked you left that group out, and I'm asking you, are they part of that group?
Of course, there's poor white people, Jesse.
So
poor is a factor. So if you're poor, that's a factor. If you're poor and white, then that's one, but it's not white. So let me explain to you why white by a race isn't.
Why?
Okay. So colonization in America was done, and when you say white supremacy, it's because that's what is in power in the system of colonization. There have been other powers. So there was brown power during the Ottoman Empire when you had brown supremacy. So at that point in time, would brown have been a factor of oppression? No, of course not, because that was a system of brown power, like Egyptians would have been somewhere else.
Where is all this craziness coming? This doesn't even make sense. Where are you getting
I know
this
it doesn't
from?
make sense to you because you're not a scholar that hasn't researched the literature.
So are you saying poverty is oppression?
Yeah, of course.
But black people are not suffering due to poverty. They're suffering due to the lack of moral character and the destruction of the family.
Right.
Black people
that's another word salad claim. I can't go into that.
Black people are not poor with physical things. They're doing better than you are. Even the so-called poorest black person is doing better than you. And I'm assuming that you're working.
That's patently unfalse. You assume that I'm working and I don't receive a paycheck.
Well, you might not, but I'm just saying, my point is poverty is not oppression.
Of course poverty is oppression.
No,
it is.
It's not true.
I don't understand what you're saying when you have a system of let's take regressive taxing. So when the police go out and they give a $35 ticket to somebody, right? What does a $35 ticket mean to somebody that's making $100 a week? A lot. It's 35% of their income. So a $35 ticket for somebody that's making $1 million a year doesn't make any doesn't hurt them at all. So that's a form of oppression. When you have bail and you can't get bail.
You know, it's really time out for making excuses for black people. I'm really sick of white people, white liberals.
The only person that says white, liberal, or black in this is you, Kat.
And black liberals and the children of the lie making up excuses for black people not standing up and being independent and doing their thing.
I'm not doing that.
That's what you're doing.
I just said oppressed classes. This can all apply to white people.
You added black people into that. Black people, back in a moment.